Well, I'm running low on gasoline, and this old highway ain't been no good for me. I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
It's Sunday, March 1st, and you've tuned into the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6. Right now, you're listening to WP3 Radio, proudly produced in partnership with Reach Across America Radio. Together, we share a mission. Remember the fallen, honor those who have served, and to teach future generations the value of freedom. A freedom secured by the brave men and women who wear our nation's uniform. Stay tuned for We Got Your 66. Now playing on WP3 Radio. Matt Williams, Heaven and Hell.
In hell, the path after that only God can tell. Now will I walk those golden streets or feel the fire below my feet? There was nowhere left to run or hide when the choices I had made came and ruined my whole life.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Doctors, roll out.
You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
Looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WP3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Trucker.
Hey, folks, welcome to the show. It's me, Frank the Myth. Unfortunately, Andrea is not going to be doing the show, and I'm here. So you had all the flags waving and cadence calling, and then I'm sorry, I showed up. But welcome to the People's Patriot Project. Mark and I are here to bring you our weekly show called We Got Your 6 at 6. Every week, we have a guest and an artist, and we share all the good and not so good things happening in our world. This week, we are hosting some amazing discussions with our guests, Stephen Cochran and Ryan Brimmer. But first of all, we want to go through a couple of the hosts we got here, or the sponsors we got here. So we're going to do a couple right off the bat. And first of all, we'll talk about Catch 22 and Derek Iozio, the Godfather. He's running his organization and helping out all kinds of folks, and we appreciate him more than we can even say. And the next one we got is Operation Texas Strong. I'm sorry, my tongue got in front of my eye tooth. I couldn't see what I was saying. We got Peggy and Bobby Krussinger at Operation Texas Strong doing great things, helping folks out, and we appreciate them doing what they do. So to all our sponsors, guests, and listeners, we just want to shout out and say a big thank you. Before we dive into this week's show, please take a moment to join us for a truly amazing rendition of the Star Spangled Banner with Dave Bray, USA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take the time to stand if you are capable of standing. Out of honor and respect, please remove your covers and prepare yourself how you need to show your greatest gratitude for the amazing freedoms and liberties we have achieved under one of the most powerful symbols in the world. Please cast your attention as we respect our old glory.
It is Sunday, 1800 Central Standard Time, unless you're in another part of the country, and you are here for We Got Your 6 at 6.
Just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Start your engines. We got them in the house tonight, folks. We've got Stephen Cochran, a legend in family and name down in Nashville, and we got Ryan Brimmer up here telling us all the things that we're going to get done and need to do and have to do and all the things, and it's great, but we got some work to do first, folks. We do this every week. We suggest you do this every day, but we are going to hear from one of our newest and latest spokespersons, Bastian the Bison.
At the People's Patriot Project, our mission is more than just words. It's a call to action. Each of us bears the vital responsibility to check your 6. We begin this important journey with a moment of self-assessment. Ask yourself, are you truly mission ready? If the answer is no, don't wait in silence. Reach out. Use your skills. Lean into your resources and connect with your network. Whether you turn to a trusted friend, a supportive organization, or dial 988, remember, you must be battle ready to stand strong for the mission ahead. Once you feel equipped, take that next step. Reach out to 6 people in your circle. Check in on them. No agenda, no judgment, just genuine connection. This is how we build strength, shield one another, and serve our communities with pride. Together, we reaffirm our commitment. We got this. Patriot Pride.
Here's the deal, folks. We're not here to make light of it, but we're here to change the message. We're here to say, how many times in our network that we've heard people say, why didn't I reach out one more time? Why didn't I say I love you one more time? Why didn't they reach out to me and tell me what was going on? Here's the deal, folks. If you're going to sit on your couch and do nothing, you are part of the problem. I'm telling you right now. We were all born to lead, or not born, trained to lead. I mean, some of us were born to lead. We know what our mission is, and it's to get our brothers and sisters all the way home. All the way home. All the way home. That's our job. It's part of our oath. If you actually go look at our oath, when you sign the dotted line, the oath is to defend our Constitution of the United States, domestic and, right? But then also to take care of our brothers and sisters. Are you your brother's keeper? I don't know. Would you rather sit here and read their obit in the morning, or would you rather have a conversation or text them real quick saying, hey, I was thinking about you? Get her done. Reach out to 6 in your network. That's your 6. And if you're not in that space, make sure you're reaching out to one of the organizations. Hey, we've muddied the waters. There's 86,000 of them in the country. You should be able to find one. And if you can't find one, bring them. Come to the People's Patriot Project. We'll get it figured out. Gentlemen, how are we doing? Is there any holidays? There's no holidays. Is there any holidays this week, Frank?
It's National Go Back to Work Day tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Except for me.
You're going to
I
play
don't have to.
You ain't doing it. Tomorrow's
I don't work anywhere no more.
Tomorrow's your first Saturday of the week.
Yeah.
Ryan Brimmer, tell us who you are, tell us about your service, and tell us about your mission, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate it. So I grew up in a small town in Wyoming. I signed up when I was 17. I spent 6 months in northern Texas. I did 2 years in northern Italy. Came back here to Davis-Monthan in Tucson, Arizona. Spent 6 years here. Got deployed to Iraq and Africa out of there, and I found out Davis Monthan stands for Don't Move. DM stands for Don't Move. So I transitioned into the reserves and spent the following 12 years in the reserves as working with computers and different things like that for a pretty cool mission set. And I just retired back in 2023. And so that's a little synopsis, I guess, of my service. What I am and who I am and what my mission is, during my time in the service, probably since 2008, a lot of guys would want to go to the bar or, play video games, stuff like that. And, everybody had their pastime. And typically when I was off work, I was involved in some sort of sales project, learning how to make deals. And I tell everybody I spent the better part of 20 years learning how to learning the arts of making deals and making sales. And when I separated, I decided I wanted to, instead of doing it for not necessarily the wrong reasons, but I definitely wanted to benefit and enhance the lives of veterans and their families using the skill set I acquired over a couple of decades. And so I do that quite often with different things. I evaluate a lot of different things. I've been doing this for quite some time. And right now I'm really passionate and focused on a few different things, which all can be saw at my link that I shared with you. And so that's really, my main mission is just to use my skill sets and my knowledge while I still can to enhance the life of veterans and their families. Really, that's what I do. So.
Well, I have to excuse us for a second here because me and Ryan are going to have a little cuddle time, and this is going to be weird for folks. But Ryan, I'm going to have some questions. Now, normally I don't do this, but I'm going to throw you under the bus a little bit. Were you a Twin Spruce?
I was a Twin Spruce, yep.
So here's the deal. What year did you graduate?
From high school, I graduated in 2003.
So here's the problem. It's not a bad problem. It's just a weird problem. There's a chance, and who would have known I would have seen little bobblehead Ryan Brimmer running around, but there's a small chance, probably a large chance, that I was one of your teachers as a sub-teacher in Gillette, Wyoming.
Oh, that's very odd, actually.
I hung out with the Hunters, Joe Hunter, Terry Hunter, Jenny and Brad Hunter were my crew.
Yeah.
And actually, we brought Sean Keller, Jenny's son, down to Nashville for the WP3 Nashville takeover. And
that's awesome.
Crazy. So, yeah, that's weird.
Small world.
Yeah.
I was a school janitor.
I love it.
Twin Spruce. So you would have had a Phi Ed teacher, and I don't remember his name, who actually was an Olympic bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a couple guys. I can't recall their names either, but every morning for wrestling practice, we had to go in and lift weights. And him and the other guy wasn't a physical education teacher, but they were both in there every morning. I remember I was in there at 5 a.m. weights, and they were in there training.
And no one's going to remember this, but Ryan Christensen, who used to play for the Panthers, came from that school as well. Everyone, you should probably be in awe just right now for that's
I
crazy.
will say how rare this is that I've been in the military for 2 decades, and I've probably met probably enough people on one to take up 5 fingers that knows of Gillette, Wyoming. And now you're the 6th, probably. I think.
Well, my son, who was a big red one and a rasp guy, actually went. He was down at Fort Riley with a young man from Gillette as well. So that's just kind of, weird. We got it.
Yeah,
Stephen, we'll let you in the conversation, brother. When did you tell us who you are?
Listen, I was enjoying hearing about Wyoming. That's one of the states I've not been to yet, so we're going to check that one off soon, man. I got to get out there.
Yeah.
We're working on something as like a what do you call it? I won't let my brain mush overtake the show. But we're working on an internship in Cody, Wyoming, because they have a rodeo every night from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Every single night they have a rodeo, and I think it would be a great place to have a main stage and put veteran musicians on that stage every single night to a captive audience of 12,000 people every single night. And so we're working on that.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. And like, I know that we've, I've been wanting to get out to Frontier Days for a long time. So
that's coming up soon.
Heard a lot about that. My dad's a songwriter, and he used to do, every year he would be out for Frontier Days. He would play out there. And the first time I ever heard Garth Brooks' name, my dad came back from Frontier Days, and he was like, dude. He's like, because I wasn't, growing up, like everybody else, I was kind of like into rap or something else, and I wasn't trying to follow my dad's corny country music. And he came back, and he's like, I got this guy that I think you're going to like. And he wasn't wrong, followed Garth Brooks my whole career. But
Malachi wants to know, where's the beard?
Oh, there's Doc. Hey. Yeah, so my wife kind of vetoed the beard and the mustache and all of that. She told me that I look like my dad with the mustache, and then that made me feel weird every time she kissed me. So does she got something? Does she think maybe my dad's attractive? I don't know. So this is clean shaven for the first time in a long time. That's what you were joking about when I got on that. There's a friend, a fan of mine, Danielle, who has a poster board. And she's been following my career since the early days, early 2000s. And it's called The Many Faces of Stephen Cochran. And she's got like me with blonde hair, me with long hair, me with short hair, me with a beard, me with a mustache. And so, I probably could have been in the CIA without even having to use any of y'all's like high-tech devices. I just grow a beard, grow a mustache, dye my hair. Sometimes the hair falls out. You never know what's going to happen.
It's crazy conversation. And again, the go check out Stephen Cochran's album covers back in the day. I mean, he looks like he should be out on a surfboard somewhere or hanging out with Keith Urban. That's the guy.
That's good. That's good. I like, there's nothing wrong with Keith Urban. He's great. He's awesome.
Brian Gibson, good to see you. Yes, we got your prayers, brother. Kim Gwinner, good to see you, dear. Long time. Miss you tons. Derek Iozio's in the house. We already said hi to Malachi. Andrea, let's grow. We got this. Stephen Cochran, tell us who you are.
Well, I want to say happy birthday to Andrea's dad. She can't be here with us tonight, but we know that she's out celebrating that. So happy birthday. We miss you, Andrea. And God bless your father on his service. Thank you for his service and his 82 years. That was 82 years that how old he is. So, my name is Stephen Cochran. I'm, again, thank you so much, Brother Mark, for having me here. I am a country music singer-songwriter. I have been blessed to have a few hits on country radio, as well as a couple albums hits, and served the United States Marine Corps, Iraq and Afghanistan with 2nd Light Armored Reconnaissance. I was a reconnaissance scout with 2nd LAR for the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan, where I broke my back and I was paralyzed for a little while. They told me I may not walk again. I'll tell a whole joke that I've been telling for my entire lifetime, that I walk just to prove that you can't tell a Marine anything. And, like I said, I went on to have a very blessed music career. And then recently with Brian Romans, Shannon Romans, myself, and my wife, Megan Cochran, we founded Label 22. So it's the first ever nonprofit recording label that helps veterans kind of get a chance to live their dreams in music. This music business can be really daunting, and especially when you just come out of service and you don't know anybody or you don't know where you're getting started. I know that firsthand, and I've seen a lot of guys get tripped up with the things that happen in the music business, and believe that a lot of the things I'd been through was for a reason. It was to help some of these guys and girls not make the same mistakes that I made. And we've been blessed, man. We've had 2 major releases off of Label 22. We also have L22 BAM, which is ran by Bobby Spivey. He was a captain in the Marine Corps. And the L22 BAM, what they do is they help the children and the family of veterans. So if your child is an aspiring country music singer or songwriter, we have an avenue for them as well. And it's been amazing, man. truly blessed with the success that we've had for these artists. And right now we've got Sal Gonzalez's album out. So please go pick that up. And in future, we got Brooks Herring coming this summer. I think we're shooting for Memorial Day on the release of his album. And I've heard the comps on this, man. These guys, when we started this, it was actually called Stop 22. And we were doing it to kind of give veterans a platform to just get it out, come out, write a poem, write a song. It doesn't have to be good. Just come and get it out. And man, Brian will tell you, I saw Brian pop up down there. What's up, brother? Love you. Brian and I served together in Afghanistan, but Brian I'll tell you, some of these Stop 22 stops that we would sit down and talk with these veteran artists, and we realized like how much talent is out there and how much talent how much help they need. And so, just through many times of sitting down and talking about what we can do and the resources that we have, we launched Label 22 2 years ago now. And we're looking at, we have our office on Music Row in RCA building. And we're looking down the barrel of some really cool stuff this year with there it is. Sal Gonzalez out now. He hit number 4 on iTunes, y'all. These iTunes charts are harder than some of the Billboard charts, which, by the way, he is going for Billboard right now. So all these purchases count. We really need the veteran community and everybody that supports us to go out and purchase Sal's album right now. And I'll be coming back around Memorial Day to beg you to go please purchase Brooks' album too, because there we are. There's at the launch. Boy, the guy right there, Kyle Turley. He's also a great guy, great artist that we work with L22 BAM. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler and future Hall of Famer. There's Brian and Shannon Romans, who's also the founders of Label 22, and then myself there. My wife, she calls that hat, she says that's the angry Jew look. I don't know how to take that. She has tried to leave that hat in 3 different states, and they keep mailing it back to me. So we've just been blessed, guys, and we're going to keep working. I think this year is going to be the big year that we step out and do things that we had planned for our 5-year plan that I think is going to come out this year. So real blessed to kind of link shields with Creative Vets. Richard Casper's a good friend, and we've just got some really cool things coming with that whole joint coalition.
That is so, and it kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. I'll get over it. You didn't mention the big fat guy in the picture.
What? Well, I mean, you're here. I didn't. First off, you just got me to call you fat on a prelim. I didn't do that, but I was about to say you're here, and then I would have been the one that called you fat. Good one. That was the way to move them. Sal used to do those Jedi mind tricks on me too before he found the magic pill.
What an amazing evening the launch was, and I got to do so many things while I was down there. I got to hang out with Chris Turner a ton. Their family blessed me and let me kind of hang into their space a little bit. But I got to go to the CRS that day. Saw Scotty Hastings there, which we have in our network as well. Did a couple interviews, and I really want to get WeP3 Radio down there for the CRS. I think it'll be amazing. And we've talked on a number of occasions. This is not the collab time. We'll talk more later, but about the things that the People's Patriot Project and Label 22 can get done together. We do have the largest. In fact, you'll hear Stephen Cochran on the radio tonight. He's up there ready to roll. But we have the largest veteran platform in the country. No one can dispute it. No one can say anything about it. We've got 240 musicians on WeP3 Radio. Not patting myself on the back, but just letting people know that it's out there. But all the guys that Stephen has talked about is on the radio station, which has absolutely been a blessing. So,
well, and there's a lot of guys like you brought up earlier, Romeo Vaughn. You brought him, I think, with you the night of the launch. And we're looking, through this coalition and this deal that we're doing with Creative Vets and Richard Casper, we're looking at trying to focus on 5 or more veteran artists a year and really put all of our asset and resources behind them, to not just launch them as a veteran artist, but to launch them as like one of the biggest artists ever. And we're from these amazing major labels that have came on to other major streaming platforms that have got involved. We're really making this a possibility where we can take a veteran from EAS from the day that they get out, and even maybe 180 days before they EAS, we can start working on their project. And by the time that they EAS, they walk right into a transition of their career. And this is not just in front of the microphone, guys. Like Label 22 was set up to help everyone. You know, if you want to be a producer, we've got Eddie Gore, who is a 2-time Grammy-nominated producer. He's the son of a 20-year Air Force veteran, and a couple of other great producers that we're talking with right now that are also helping instruct these younger vets who want to learn how to produce music. When it comes to film and photography, we've got Chris Herod and Sergio Valenzuela, who are two of the best guys in it, Army and Marine Corps, and Chris was Army too. So, I mean, I guess he got all of them in there. And then, you know, down to just even our office management team. You know, Megan Cochran's my wife, Shannon Romans is Brian's wife, and they run all of our day-to-day stuff. Bobby Spivey, who I mentioned earlier, is a former captain in the Marine Corps. Michael Hamilton is a captain in the Army. Anton Harb was a captain in the Army. So from the top to the bottom, everybody that works for or around Label 22 is all veteran. And when you look at Sal's project, from the production of his album to the songs that are written on it, to the artwork, to even the music video that we shot, all of that was veteran done. Like we didn't have to task out any civilian company or go reach out to a known company that does this. We hired veterans to do this whole project, number 4 on iTunes, and it's about to wreck billboards. Like, I know I get in trouble. Bobby yells at me when I start giving out predictions for what he's going to hit on Billboard, but I know he's going to do great in Billboard. I've said many times that if, you know, Sal Gonzalez to me is like if Chris Stapleton and Teddy Swims had a Mexican baby, they would come out with Sal Gonzalez. And you know, and he's one of our first Spanish country music singer-songwriters in a long time, probably since Freddie Fender, to do it. So, and you can't really find anyone better than Sal out there singing. I would put Sal up against anyone. But when you look at the roster of Label 22, you talked about Chris Turner and Sal Gonzalez, and we've got Brooks Herring coming. And there's 3 guys, Romeo Vaughn, Michael Allen, Billy Dutch. These are guys that I'm talking about in the future that we're looking to keep, you know, to keep that train moving, that we're bringing in fresh blood every year that we can showcase to say, hey, listen, if you thought we only had 3 veterans, look at what else we've got coming next year and the year after that and the year after that. And like I said, it's not just veteran artists. We'll have veteran producers, the film industry. We really think that with Label 22, we can fully engulf veteran entertainment.
Well, let's showcase again some of the other artists and one of your songs, "Keep On," and it also is going to show the launch of Label 22, which again I had the awesome. There does have to be a correction because I didn't bring Mr. Vaughn to the event. I met him at the event, so I just don't want to. We want to make things lie in truth. Well,
I've been giving you credit for Romeo and not credit for Brooks. You introduced me to Brooks, and there you go.
That did happen. That was crazy because Brooks walked through, and we just had him on the show 2 weeks prior to the event, and I'm like, "That's Brooks." And he had a flag in his beard.
Yeah, you can't mistake Brooks, man. They during Veterans Day, we did a Nashville Veterans Day parade takeover. So we had 6 locations where we had a veteran artist playing along the parade route all through the Nashville Veterans Day parade, and all the ladies had nicknamed Brooks the country music Viking by the end of it, and it fits, man. It fits. We've got some surprises for his album release. We're trying to get some little mohawks that everybody can wear when they come to his album release party. Because I mean, it's been I don't know the last time that you've seen a country music singing mohawk Viking looking sailor.
He can play it all. He does really good. So in this video, folks, you're going to see Stephen Cochran. You're going to see Chris Turner. You're going to see Sal Gonzalez. Chris Turner's son, Cooper, who is absolutely he might be one of the best at his age guitarists in the music industry right now. And if you get a chance to see Coop, get out there and see what he's doing.
His songwriting, his singing, everything. Like Coop he's We love Cooper, and at Cooper Lane. I always mess up and call him Cooper Turner. And he's like, "Hey man, I'm going by Cooper Lane," but yeah, we love Coop, and he writes at the office a lot, and we're hoping to get him on L22 soon as well.
Yeah, awesome. This is Stephen Cochran. Keep on.
Y'all, I had this new single come out. So again, we're talking about the Hallmark movie. This is a song that's on the Hallmark movie soundtrack. It's called Keep On. And I wrote this song just to try to help other veterans understand that no matter what you're going through, when you wake up in the morning, whatever you've got to do to get through the day, do that. We need you. We need all of you here. So if you've got to lie to yourself, whatever you've got to do to get through that day, do it. Y'all, just call Keep On. That's not who I am. I know how I got here. This was not my plan, so I keep on lying. Yeah, to myself. Y'all see me hurting, love me just the same. Not the same person, but I answer to my name, and I keep on lying. Yeah, to myself. Yeah, I keep lying, but don't you see? And I'm not the man you thought I was, but I was not supposed to be. But here I am, just to understand. Well, this is me. You can't stop lying. Yeah, to myself. I made more promises than I could ever keep. And I don't know why, but I still got these rings and I keep on lying. Yeah, to myself. Yeah, I keep lying, but don't you see? And I'm not the man you thought I was, but I was not supposed to be. But here I am, just to understand. Yeah, this is me. Let's go, y'all. They've taken us for granted, and now we're gone home. Yeah, they said that we'd come back, but this don't feel like home. Sure don't feel like home. So I keep on lying. Yeah, to myself. Oh, I keep on lying. Yeah, I keep lying, but don't you see? That I'm not the man you thought I was, but I was not supposed
That is Stephen Cochran.
Thank you.
Dude.
Thanks, man. That that song, it's still it wasn't even meant to. I really didn't write it to put it out at all. It was something like, I'd heard Sam Tate. Sam Tate's a Vietnam veteran. He wrote "If You're Going Through Hell" for Rodney Adkins.
He was there that night.
Yeah, dude. He's got a great. He's exactly. Sam played that night. Caleb Montgomery, another artist on our label, just recut "If You're Going Through Hell," Thanks to You, which is on the charts right now on secondary radio. But Sam had talked about when he wrote "If You're Going Through Hell," that he wrote it as like a fight song for himself. He's a Vietnam vet. He's dealing with post-traumatic stress, which didn't even have a name back then. So, he's just dealing with this unseen thing that he's fighting. And so he said that he had wrote "If You're Going Through Hell" as his own fight song just to get through the day. And that's what Keep On was for me, man. I wrote it as, with Michael Hamilton, who's, like I said, works with Label 22. And we wrote it as just our own like little get through the day song, and started playing it out at the Stop 22 events just to see if any other vets, if it would help. And, I started getting more people tell me, hey, you need to think about putting that out to where we can get a copy of it. And so we did that. When we launched Label 22, we gave that away for free and kind of just put it out there to help launch the label. And it's still a song that I use for myself. So hopefully there's some vets out there that can go look up Keep On and it can help you get through the day. Also, I saw Brian posted some things there. Man, I love Brian Romans. He's such a good dude. He I'll talk about him because he runs about 7 different organizations, and all of them are amazing, from the Romans Warrior Foundation to everything that he's doing with Label 22 and Stop 22 and the Wall of Remembrance. These are all things that he does so selflessly to just give back to the veteran community, and I'm thankful to have paired with him on this, and just another great a great thing that we've got going with Label 22 and how we get to do it together. Because we served together in Afghanistan. We fought all the way through the Helmand Project, Providence together, including, the first Marine that was killed in combat. Corporal Ron Payne was one of the Marines that we served with. And the night that Ron fell, we had to, the Taliban was they wanted his body. Ron was 6'7", 6'8". And, they called him the giant of the Helmand. And so they were trying really hard to come down and get his body. We had to put his body on Brian's vehicle so that we could fight the rest of the way up the mountain side. And Brian sat there, and guarded Ron's body for the rest of the night until we could get it back to the rear. And he doesn't tell that story a lot, but I know what it meant to us. And, to have him as a brother in combat, but to also get to, face these civilian problems together, it means a lot to me. So I'm real honored to have him on our team.
Brian Robins is a blessing. We've had him on the show, I think, a couple times now and again. Just a huge voice and advocate in the veteran world. And I keep telling people to get down into the Nashville space, the amount of who's who in the world of people that are putting boots on the ground, making a difference. You guys are getting it done in that space. You got a posse down in that space, man.
With the Nashville Marine Mafia, brother.
and you're all freaking Marines, which makes it even 100 times.
So that's what's even funnier is that, we're so Marine heavy right now. I think we've got, Chris is a Marine, Sal's a Marine, I'm a Marine, Brian's a Marine. But the next wave, we were talking about the next wave of artists that I'm looking at. We don't have one Marine that I've talked to. Romeo's a soldier. Billy Dutch is a soldier. Michael's currently serving soldier. So I've got to get out to some of these Marine Corps bases. Obviously, I've not done my due diligence to get more Marines on the label for next year.
They're all out celebrating the Marine birthday or something. I don't know what they're just
365
every single day. Ryan, we know you're here, brother. Sorry, you getting mixed up in all the glam over here.
No, you're good. You're good. I love hearing the stories, man. I love hearing the stories. That's what I live for.
So what are you working on right now? What are you getting done, brother?
Yeah, so really my passion project is I'm an assistant chapter director out here in Arizona for an organization called Fairways for Warriors. It's kind of like VGA or anything like that, but we help combat veterans specifically heal through the game of golf. And so our big mission right now, I just opened up the Tucson market. That's kind of what I was brought on to do. So we're just growing members, growing sponsorships, growing veterans. That's what we do, right? And so we're a lot different in the sense that, I feel like a lot of other golf organizations that I've been a part of, veterans wise, there's not like the personal touch to it. So we do a lot of camaraderie building. It is golf, but we do a lot of things outside of golf just to build, the brotherhood and the sisterhood, I guess. And really just get into people's lives and be, and turn the 6 that you're talking about into 12 or 18 or and so we just give a safe place for guys to get together and chat and build relationships and friendships. We have a big golf tournament that we do usually twice a year. There's one coming up May 18th in Phoenix. And that's just to obviously promote Fairways for Warriors, but we do things like Veterans Village, where we bring a lot of different VSOs together, different things like that. And then, I'm pretty passionate about that just because I a lot of things that I've noticed that veterans struggle with are obviously in your brain, right? Most of the time, right? The physical stuff, we have doctors and stuff that really take care of that stuff most of the time, right? But the stuff inside of our head, the 6 inches between our ears, that's usually what tends to get us, right? And so between that and between golf and different things like that, we're just able to connect with the veteran and really understand what's going on a personal level. And so that's probably the big thing that I'm passionate about. And then bringing just helping. I work with a travel company as well, where I help veterans kind of experience the world in a different mindset. When I was in the civilian world, I got to go to Saudi Arabia, and I spent a week over there, and I just was able to talk to people, and I realized that there's parts of the Middle East that are bad, but that culture is quite amazing. It's a 1,000-year-old culture, and they just have a lot of different things to offer the world, and so that really taught me, like, man, us as veterans, we see really ugly, nasty pieces of the world, right? And it can be very easy, I think, to when we get out to think that the world's just this dooms, like this terrible place, right? And I realized that through my own travel experience, my own personal travel experiences, that we can see the world and experience the world in a different way than we did when we were in service, right? So those are a couple of things that I'm working on that I'm pretty passionate about, man.
That is a gigantic piece, and we've got to change the narrative somehow, because it is. I love that you said there are beautiful spaces and places and people in that space, because somehow, I don't know if it was from the beginning of life or we are just a bunch of sour pusses that can't absolutely figure it out, and we want to bring the negative narrative into. You talk to someone, I don't feel good today. You know what? I didn't really ask you if you didn't feel good today. Tell me what went great today, because that's what I really want to know.
Yeah.
And we need to spend more time focusing on that. We need to spend more time saying great things are happening.
Yeah.
If you sit down and watch the flipping news right now, shame on you. And if you buy into a narrative, one side or the other side, because I'm going to tell you right now, folks, neither side of it's getting right. I'm telling you that right now. And be with me, be against me. I don't freaking care. But both wings of the bird are the same bird. And the reality is we need to start focusing on that positive. That's why we do this show. It's supposed to show the highlight of the positive. It's supposed to share the amazing, great things that Brian Romes is doing and the plethora of other organizations are doing. And Jeremy Daniels and the great work he's doing through the face of adversity and the nasty stuff he's had to deal with with the burn pits and stuff like that. Jeremy Daniels, we're with you. We hear you. We see you. Roll on, brother. Roll on. And so I appreciate the fact that you said, because you know what? A lot of those people didn't sign up for that mission over there either. They didn't. That's not their stuff. I'm telling you right now, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks the thing going. We don't get into the conversation, but it sucks that the bombs had to be dropped on Iran. Sorry, that sucks.
Yeah.
But some people have not figured out that we can't live in a world where there's tyranny and nastiness and grossness. And when you go out and slaughter 30,000 of your own freaking people because they don't speak the same thing that you believe in.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's got to come to a stop. And I'm sorry it takes bombs to make that happen. Sorry, we don't get into that stuff here. And it sucks. And our young men and women have to go and be part of that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Got on it real quick.
No, you're good.
Brian,
You're good. I love it.
Message, brother.
What's that? Sorry, say that again.
Thank you for that positive message and the fact that.
Yeah, of course, man. You know, I don't want to interrupt or anything, but I really do. Thankfully, I do. Kind of share my story and tell you that I spent the better part of 18 years or 2 decades really learning sales and different things like that. But if you know anything about sales, a lot of it is I'd say 80% of it is personal development. And so between my time in Iraq and all this different stuff that I did, I really think sales kind of saved my life, right? I was one of the fortunate ones that was able to learn sales and different things like that. But because of that, through that journey, I was able to do an extraordinary amount of personal development on myself. And I just realized that, a lot of our men and women that are coming out of the service struggle mentally, struggle to adapt, struggle to find, we talk about finding work and different things like that, but it's more than that. It's I just like you said, right? Like we're a part of operations like the ones in Iran or what Stephen was doing in Afghanistan in the first wave and things like that. And we come back here and we don't, we look around and like, you're really complaining about that? Like seriously, bro? And it's really, I think it's really hard for a lot of veterans to get over that hump and start to, meld their mind back into the civilian world, but bring their positive military experience with them to do that. And I like what Steven's doing because, music is a beautiful creative outlet for a lot of different veterans. And, and I think that it probably helps them, the artists, the musicians, the writers, and the producers, probably helps them probably more than it does the people that they're listening to the music, right? And I think that the process of all of that is really what what's not talked about, because in the military we're told how to act, we're told how to feel, we're told how to be, we're told how to dress, we're told how to when to eat chow, doing different things like that, right? And we get out of the military and our mind is really focused and structured on that, and things like music or golf or being with other brothers and sisters, it really allows us to separate our mind from that space that we used to be in and bring us into the present, right? So
I love it. I love it. Miss Eichmann, if you're listening, and we'll put it in the notes, I think the title of this episode should be called Keep It Positive. And again, I want to challenge it to the next level, Be the Beacon. And Be the Beacon is one of our branding pieces as well. But we need to have a place where you fix your eyes and you need to get. I need to get there. I need to go. I need to move forward. Get on. Move on. Do your thing. Oh, that's awesome. My brain is just keep on. The whole thing is just like boom. Because that is, you always find a focal point. You know that if you're out there in a battlefield and that you have to have an azimuth. You have to have a place where I'm going. Because if you're not going anywhere, you're stuck. And then that's when the bad juju happens. And that's a reality. Oh my gosh, full circle here. Because if you are sitting on the couch doing nothing, not keeping on, not moving forward, not doing the stuff, then you get succumbed by the stuff and then you can't figure your way out. And so keep it positive. I'm going to challenge. Here's my challenge, folks. Check your six. Check your six. Not asking. I'm telling. And then I want to challenge you this week. When someone puts the Eeyore funk in your ear, say, hey, tell me something positive, brother. Tell me something positive, sister. Tell me something that's going on in your life that I can celebrate. We got to change it somehow. Gosh dang it.
One of the things I like to tell people all the time when I talk to them, my opening question is, tell me something good that's happened in your life since the last time we talked. That's the first opening question. And it really, to me, it really sets the tone of the conversation, so they know, hey, we're going to be positive here. We're like, that's where we're going to talk. You know what I mean? So,
Frank the Myth,
Sure.
you're going to share with us the news, brother.
Yeah, before I go into the news, I just want to say,
what? I can't see around this thing. What's going on? Oh.
Yeah, I was in Phoenix this past couple days.
yeah.
Seems like the judges and the jury decided my latest book was good enough to be the best historical fiction book of the year.
Heck yeah.
Jeez,
Congratulations.
I love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'll tell you, it was a personal success for me because my uncle passed away while it was being edited, and he was a Marine in World War II, and he spent the last days of World War II on Okinawa, waiting for the orders to get on the landing craft and head to Japan. And he told me that when they were told that they didn't have to go, everybody on that beach had tears in their eyes. So I changed part of my book, and I wrote him in and used his name, and God bless him. I hope he's looking down and appreciated it, because I enjoyed doing it. Anyways, move on to something else. I just want to say that God bless all the folks currently serving our country in uniform, and may he keep them safe and do their job well. All right, first story in the news. And we're kind of taking a little path here down to some different countries. First of all, everybody's heard this story, I know, but I wanted to go through it. The headline is Mexican Army kills leader of powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel during an operation to capture him. And much like in a lot of other countries, most captures that happen end up with a dead person. So this one didn't end any different. So El Mencho was killed during the operation, and it would appear that his army, because that's what the cartels are, were not pleased and showed it all across the country, trapping U.S. citizens and other tourists in Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara. So there was a lot of angst going on whether or not everybody could get back to the countries that they originated from. And luckily, they were able to open the airports and get people out. But there was at least 14 dead, including 7 National Guard troops in some parts of Mexico. And it was not something that they probably expected when they left. But like all the other foreign countries, you gotta prepare yourself with what could and might happen. So I'm glad people made it back home. The next story we have, and I put this one on purpose as well. We don't normally talk about sporting events. And to update a story I did a couple weeks ago, I did not find that any of our veterans received a medal in the Olympics, unfortunately, but they did participate, and being an Olympian is a rare thing, and they ought to appreciate that and hold that dear for the rest of their lives. But this one story, Lindsey Vonn, and she caught a lot of garbage about even participating. And what people don't understand, a lot of people that said that were not athletes. If you won the chance to be competing in the Olympics, it doesn't matter how old you are or what you've done, you're going to try. And she, unfortunately, she was in an accident before the Olympics started, and she hurt herself, and people didn't think that she should participate, but she did a training run and she did fine. And then she got out and she got hung up on a pole and had a horrific fall, and not just broke, she shattered her leg. And when they showed the x-rays and they showed a mock-up of what her leg looked like, she's fortunate she didn't have to have her leg amputated. And she came out and told everybody that when she was in the hospital. She showed the things that the surgeon had shown her, and God bless her for trying. And I hope she heals, has a complete recovery. But that was a lot worse than what people thought and what they saw on the TV. So I just wanted to cover that. And the last one for the news, Hong Kong was protesting the fact that Panama had taken back control of 2 key ports on the Panama Canal. Well, they're their ports. They ought to feel lucky that they controlled them for as long as they did, because they were being operated by a Hong Kong company. And I don't know if they got any notice or anything when Panama came in and said, okay, we're done. We don't need you anymore. But that happens a lot in Central America and South America. So Panama now has control of the Panama Canal and the ports. So I thought that was a relatively good thing. And the last story we always have, I really can't believe this happened. And this one, it always seems to center around an animal or something. And I don't know why. I don't try to do that, but the stories keep showing up. So no elephants though. So there was a zoo or a wildlife preserve in Africa, and they had a very special rhinoceros. And this animal had a disease in one of his eyes. And they had tried everything. They had tried antibiotics. They tried other type of medications, and they couldn't clear this infection. And they were gonna euthanize this rhino. And then while the story was being told, there was an organization in Florida that heard of this, and it was the Palm Beach Zoo and Conservation Society. And one of the people within that group came up with the idea, well, have they tried eye drops? And wouldn't you know, they hadn't. So they flew all the way over to Africa, and they put some eye drops in, and yep, wouldn't you know it, rhinoceros is just fine. So I guess from the rhinoceros perspective, never give up hope and rest your laurels on your horn.
I don't want to put eye drops in a rhino's eyeball, just so you know.
Oh, heck, I'd be right up there. Heck, give me that bottle.
No. Brian Romans has the most positive thing that happens each and every day is the gift of life. The majority of us were thrust into an evil bubble that we were often left to navigate either on our own or shoulder to shoulder with others who were just as green as we were. We are blessed to wake up in a free country, feel the sunshine, and grow our love for one another. Let me continue to brag on Brother Stephen. He has opened the door and offered the ability for others to start their faith walk towards. I don't know why it was cut off. Oh, the whole system must have cut it off. Sorry, brother. Adam Bird, good to see you, brother. founder, leader, and director of Heroes Media Group in the house.
Oh yeah, Adam. Love Adam.
Great dude.
My dude.
Hey, boss, can I drop a couple things on the month of March?
You just had like 8 minutes of time, Frank. Come on.
Oh yeah, I'll be like 2 minutes.
All right.
It's March. There's not that much. So, but the key is March is the month for the military caregiver, and I can't think of anybody else who deserves a month of recognition than the military caregivers. Secondly, on the 3rd of March, it's the Navy Reserve birthday. Woohoo! And March 5th is the Seabee birthday. Those bees must be getting awful tired of flying around out at sea. I don't understand.
The real Marine birthday is what you just said.
I do love.
And don't forget, March 8th is we change back to daylight savings time. Those states who are unfortunate enough to be following that ridiculousness. Okay,
Mr. Fleet, part of the posse down in Nashville.
It's my brother. Yeah. You know, he's actually from Michigan. We met it's because, you know, I spend half my time in Michigan here and half the time in Tennessee, but we met, he came down for a CMA fest, came to a show. We started talking. He, you know, found out that I'm from Michigan. He brought me up to Michigan to be the Grand Marshal of one of the oldest Memorial Day parades in the nation here in Dearborn, Michigan. And then he ended up moving to Tennessee. And so we stole one, got him moved down there, come one of our other sailors that works with us. But he's got a great organization, man. Minutes Wisely, if you get a chance to check that out. I know that, I don't know if a lot of people have saw that that young boy DJ that passed away that had the brain cancer. You know, Richard had brought him to, he had never been to a sporting event. So they brought him to Detroit and took him to a Lions game and just showed him a really good time. And so if you can, like I said, check out Minutes Wisely. They're doing great things. And that's really what we're doing. You know, when we think about, you know, what Ryan's doing and what you do, Mark and Frank, you know, we're leaking shields. It's that, you know, not one person is going to have the cure for everything that us as veterans face. But together, if we have enough organizations that do stuff, then we can go, hey, that may not be what I do, but I know a guy who does that I trust that's already been vetted. Let me link you up with Ryan. He's going to hook you up with something. And let me hook you up with Mark and, you know, Frank. And we can all link our shields and find those cures together. And that's what it's going to take.
So I absolutely. And, you know, Brian Romans is one of the first ones that said, you know, let's lock shields. And I'm like, I want to use that all the time, but I know Brian Romans uses it. But it is. It's weird. Brian Romans. It's what the Romans used to do. And if you go and watch like the Gladiator and all that, they get together and they lock their shields so you can't penetrate it. And then his name Brian Romans. That's crazy. So Dever J. Daniel, DJ. I saw it, and I'm the first one. So here's the deal. This is another platform of Mark Peterson life that I've had to move towards because I am sick and tired, and I've done this with people that parrot information. I'm not attacking you, Stephen. Here
no worries. If he's not passed on, I'm sorry.
No, because I did the same thing. I saw the picture and I'm like, oh no, man, what a great story. We've been trying to get him on the show for a minute, but he's the young man that goes around and he's got terminal brain cancer. He is going to die. But the only thing he's ever wanted to do is be a cop. And so he's been to the White House, he's been to the FBI, he's done all these places, and they've done an amazing job to give this kid, this young man, 13 years old, a place to have comfort in the world and time. And I love his old man stoicism. Like he's trumping around like he's got the swagger. And I love watching his clips. Go check him out. He's not dead, folks. Of course, according to, and some people came out on social media and said, shame on you, and it is shame on you all. It is.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I don't want to go through life having to fact check absolutely everything that comes across my desk. Because here's the deal, man. There's a lot of things going on. And there's a lot. And we all do it because I did it. And I know a couple of weeks ago there was Burrows. They said Burrows was signed to the Minnesota Vikings. I was actually kind of excited about it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's a big wah-wah.
I got to stop hanging out with people who are fans with other teams that also play the Lions, because the same thing. Richard Casper, we're talking, he's a Bears fan. And so, we just sent Sal out. Sal got to play one of the after parties for the Super Bowl that was out in San Francisco. And they had Brian Urlacher, was one of the football players that was there for the Gridiron Greats. And I was like, all right, man, I guess while you're out there, get Casper an autograph from that Bear. But I'm gonna have to have friends that have. You're a Cardinals fan, right? We can be friends. We don't play each other in the regular season.
I'm a Niners fan, actually. So
come on, give me some.
Yeah. I grew up in Wyoming, and there was no sports team, and it was the '90s. Steve Young, Jerry Rice. Come on,
Yeah,
jumped
and
on the bandwagon.
we usually have to play the Niners every year in the playoffs. So
you had an Orange Crush jersey somewhere in your repertoire. Those great Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah. So that's my dad's favorite team. So that's my second favorite team. I got to watch them so I can have stuff to talk about with my dad. But yeah, it was Niners all the way, and we gave you guys Sam Darnold, and then he came back and that bit us in the butt a little bit.
Oh that was my happiest place in the whole Super Bowl, is the fact that Darnold was.
Yeah, that was a cool story. Yeah, it was a cool story.
Well, with Richard, with Minutes Wisely, he actually, so I'd been to one Lions game at Ford Field. And so he said, my wife and I came up for our anniversary to Michigan this year. And he said, hey, I've got tickets. You're going to love these seats. And we go to the Lions game, and we're, like three rows from the field. And we were playing the Vikings, and you beat us. And,
of course we did.
So I don't go to Lions games anymore. I'd stay at home. I wear the other team. My son don't even let me wear, if I'm wearing the teams, because we're Kentucky Wildcat fans, we're Michigan State fans, and we're Lions fans. But if I'm wearing, like today, I'm wearing a Michigan State. So Michigan State plays today. If my son saw me wearing this, he'd be like, hey, Dad, go change, because if you don't, they're going to lose. And so I'm not even allowed to wear the teams that we support on game day because it's that bad. So
love it.
That Michigan fears the ravaging Gophers.
Yeah, again, Michigan State, not Michigan. We're the Spartans here.
You're still all in the same conference, though. But it's
and we lose a lot to Michigan.
I'm scared. There is one more news item that I want to get out there before we get too far down the road, but. There's something coming, and I wish I had a better promo for this. There's something coming, and so you may not. There's something coming. Just be open, have your thoughts, but something's coming.
I don't know what it would be. Either that or I'm epileptic. I don't know.
Yeah, thought I was having a fit.
Yeah. I was talking to our team, and I was like, hey, is it? And I'm going to ask this group, because this isn't like hitting the political world, but it's kind of dancing around, and that was not the intent. Together we stand. Is that too adversary in today's world, or is that okay?
I don't know what's acceptable anymore. I don't know. Half the time I just stay quiet because I don't know when I'm going to get canceled, and I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't care. Man, this probably the past 2 years I've been on a path, man, a journey of my own salvation. Through finding my faith. And really what I tell people, when it comes to politics is if you put any faith in a man, you're going to be let down. It doesn't matter whether it be Republicans, Democrats. If you put your faith in a man, you're going to be let down. There's only one person, one being you can put your faith in that is never going to change, never going to, the word in the Bible, Jesus Christ has never changed. He's never going to change. That's where I find any positivity that we talk about, or where I find the happiness and the positivity, the joy. I won't say happiness, because happiness, can be bought. But joy can't be bought. And that's one thing that we have to look at. If we're looking for positivity, let's look for true joy from now on. Let's go find joy in the things that we can't buy, the people that we can't buy, the politicians that aren't bought. Let's find those people and keep working together to link these shields, because at the end of the day, dude, there is nobody coming to save us. Like, there's no one out there coming to save us. And if we don't know that by now, and I'm not talking about our savior, I'm talking about like physical people, and our government is not coming to save us. We've got to do that ourselves. That's what we're here to do. That's what organizations like We the People are platforms to give us a way to get together and link our shields, so that when everybody realizes that no one's coming to save the American veteran but the American veteran, we at least have that platform and that whole system of us together to do it.
That's a crazy conversation, Stephen, and I agree with you. But when I stand up and I talk to groups, and I'm like, hey, stand up if you're a veteran or a first responder, and you get the trickle up, and some are there. Hey, thank you. Stand up if you're a family member that supported a veteran or a first responder, and that's a gigantic contingency, and we support those people as well. And then stand up if you support. And you have everyone standing up in the room, but yet we are still dealing 86,000 organizations in the country, and we're still losing 6,000 veterans a year to suicide.
We're preaching the wrong message, man. That's a heart issue. And this is something that I've done for a long time, Mark, is I've said the wrong things. I've been doing with the 22 a day and post-traumatic stress and trying to save our veterans for as long as I can remember, man. I mean, we launched Stop 22 in 2014. And before that, I had songs like Pieces, where I was, even ruining my own career. I won't say ruining my own career, but I was putting my own career at jeopardy by coming out as one of the first veterans to talk about having post-traumatic stress in an industry where they couldn't even get insurance claims on me because I had talked about PTSD now. And we're saying the wrong things. Like, I can lead you down a path to get you help, but at some point you're going to have to start trusting me. And you're going to have to see that the man standing in front of you has been through a lot of stuff, man. Like I have been through, and I'm not comparing my journey to anyone else's, but I'm telling you that I have been, if you can name it, I've been told I wasn't going to walk again. I've been told I would never have a career. I've been told that my marriage was over. I've been told that everything that you can think that you've been told, I've been told. And it wasn't me that got through it. Like, it wasn't there. There's no strength. There's no Marine Corps training that's ever gotten me through anything on my own. And I could tell you that I've been in a room and I've went down the suicide road as far as you can go down without coming back. Man, I've been in the room with the door shut and my shotgun and a bottle of whiskey, and this was it. I was done. I'd been given a dog that I didn't even name because I wasn't planning on being here to name the dog. And the dog kept busting through the door. This little door kept coming through it into the room. And I kept throwing her back out. And she kept coming in. And I said, okay, God, I need to hear your voice, because this is it. And if you're real, I need to hear you. And I grabbed my Bible and I picked the Bible up and I turned it to the book of Job. And I've read the book of Job 100 times. I've never read it like I read it that night. Because, I mean, man, I was as serious about riding off this earth as you can get. And I know there's a lot of veterans out there that's been down this path. And that's what I'm telling you, it's a heart issue. Because when I found my path and when I found the words that were already written for me, it was different. There was no therapist. There was no medication. It was the word of my God, my Savior, who came in that room with me. And I wouldn't be here. And I know there's a lot of veterans out there that I'm hope are watching this right now that will just give him a second to let him speak to you too. To let him fix your heart. And that we pray the right things. Because we're not losing 22 a day, guys. Because let me tell you, every brother and sister that we lose to their own hand, we have to know that, we can pray that God is the ultimate judge, and we pray that God knows what's in their heart and what's in their mind. But at the end of the day, we're letting them make a decision that could damn them for eternity. And when it talks about that at the end that Jesus will wipe every tear and he'll dry every eye, it's because we're going to watch a lot of our brothers and sisters that we may have had the opportunity to talk to, that we may have had the opportunity to reach, that we didn't tell the hard truth because we thought, hey, it might not be cool. We used to drink together, or we used to, we partied together. He ain't going to know this new me. He's not going to understand that I'm going to talk to him about Jesus. And we're going to watch those people be kicked into a pit. And we're going to know that all we had to do was just have an uncomfortable conversation about someone that loves you more than anyone. And that's why only Jesus can wipe our tears and wipe those, because it's going to hurt. We're going to lose so many that we served with.
That gives another meaning to check your six.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to check our six.
Yeah.
Let's give you a break, Stephen. We appreciate this. This is awesome. Awesome. Let's do Little Pieces. This is by Stephen Cochran. Pieces.
Well, here I sit, not knowing where I stand. 2 years of therapy, and still just half a man. Well, this town moved on without me. Now where do I fit in? Life's a jumbled puzzle, and where do I begin? But how do you paint a picture back in focus? Or build the dreams when you're broken? No one understands, and you scream for Jesus, and all you've got left are these pieces. Well, here I sit, I'm trying my best to stand. It's back to baby steps again. Each one takes me further from being a burden to all my friends, and a little closer to breaking these new legs in. But how do you paint a picture back in focus? Or build the dreams when you're broken? No one understands, and you scream for Jesus, and all you've got left are these pieces of who I was. But the man I am has to let go of the things I can't change. I gotta rearrange the pieces. There he sat, not knowing where he stood, feeling like a stranger in his own neighborhood, searching for the answers and the reasons See, don't worry, and don't worry. They come in pieces. Yeah, they come in pieces.
That's Stephen Cochran, Pieces.
Thanks, man.
Great song, brother.
Great message, great song, great. The world needs to hear what's happening here right now. Folks, if you're listening and watching, lots of comments coming through. Make sure you are liking, you're sharing. Go to our YouTube channel. This isn't about clicks. It's not about any of that. But people have to hear this message. If we're not getting the message out to people, then we're not doing the job. And you are, as Stephen said, you're damning them to hell. If you do nothing, you are cutting their legs out. You're doing it yourself. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
They always say if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem, right? So
it is.
Being part of the solution is sharing, sharing the message.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, guys, this is the community where we shouldn't. I mean, we've all been through, similar situations, combat. These are things. We're 1%. There's not a lot of people that we have to lean on other than each other. And there's been a lot here lately. It's where it's almost like we've started condemning each other, and we find even with some of the products that we have, veteran-owned businesses, we would, as a community, we'll go support a civilian-owned company and crap all over the veteran-owned business and not support them because they're doing something that we're not doing, or they're not doing it the way that we think that they should do it, or they don't support the right Crips or Bloods team that we think that they should be on. Like, dude, at the end of the day, we're veterans. And like, if we're choosing sides and cutting veterans' legs out from underneath them because a color or a side that that they're on, we really got to tighten up as a community, because man, we're 1%. We're a minority, but we're a strong minority. I mean, we're the backs that this country was built off of and protected it. And we're fighting with each other. I'm watching Navy SEALs, guys that are in SEAL Team 6, very big podcasters who could be changing the world, who are fighting with each other, slap fighting with each other on the internet, burning each other's whole, like, what they've built up. I mean, this is a congressman and a large podcaster who are burning what they've built up and making our community look like idiots while they do it. When you could pick up the phone. I mean, if there's another Marine out there, esprit de corps, I mean, Sal Gonzalez, that's a story. Sal Gonzalez, I was on the radio with my first single. Sal was working at FedEx, and Sal started calling the radio station, and I was in doing the interview. And we were doing a disc breakdown, and this lady comes in our break, and she goes, "Man, you got some crazy fans." And I'm thinking, crazy fans, ma'am? This is the first song I've ever put on the radio. Nobody knows who I am. How do I have any fans? She said, "This one guy's called like 8 times, and he said something about the spirit of the Corps, and you're a piece of shit." And I said, "Whoa, that's a lot to take in for my first time on the radio." And then I kind of like put it together. I said, "Hold on, was he a Marine?" And I said, "I think he's probably saying esprit de corps, and if I don't help him, then I'm a piece of, doo-doo, because he probably wants to be a songwriter. That was Sal Gonzalez. I got his phone number. We called, we talked on the phone. I never had an opportunity to help him until we launched Label 22. But as veterans, if it's no different than being a brother in Christ. If you see someone doing something wrong, go to them. You don't go on a social media platform and burn them down and then burn each other down and make our community look silly. Like if we're going to be taken serious, we've got to start taking each other serious and supporting each other. Like there's the whole Link in the Shields thing. That's Brian's word. But them joking around with calling us the Nashville Marine Mafia. It's not just Marines. We've got sailors, soldiers, airmen. It's just that we support each other in all industry, from Heroes Vodka to Four Branches Bourbon. We have sponsorships that don't do anything monetarily for us as Label 22. We just know they're good brands, they're veteran owned, and we want to support them. And so we do. And that's what we've got to do for each other, no matter what. Like we've got to start supporting each other as a community way more than we do.
Yeah. And
it is
go ahead.
100%. The collaboration has to happen. And again, I've always been welcomed into, I know we had a vision of Pop Smoke Entertainment at one time, and we brought that to you guys, and we're in the midst of creating Label 22. And it's not that we want to compete with you guys. We just want to find a way to collaborate, and that niche wasn't there when we first started.
And dude, there's other veteran, Mike Corrado is a retired colonel and a Marine, and he's got a Hero Records, and which is a great organization. Like I said, with the coalition that we're talking about with Creative Vets, there's a lot of people that do what we do. There's a lot of people that do what Creative Vets, and we want everybody to have a seat at the table, because at the end of the day, that's the reason we're a nonprofit. I want no money out of this. Like we're trying to save lives and help veterans get ahead. Like that's the whole point of it. If I wanted to make $1 gazillion, we would have started a record label and done it the way that they've done it in Nashville for 100 years. We're not doing that. This is the reason that the 22 is in the name, Label 22. It means something to us. We know what it means. Civilians see Label 22 and they go, "That's a weird name. Wonder what that means." But when we see, it's almost like the Batman beacon. A veteran goes Label 22. I bet I know what that 22 means.
Yeah.
And then they know that they have a safe place to come and learn entertainment from us.
Mike Corrado's Stand was the song that he was playing on WP3 Radio when we were entering into the.
I love Mike, man. He's a good dude too. Again, just a great group of guys that ended up in Nashville and around Nashville that we've gotten to link shields with. Mike being one of them. We just wrote a song with Mike for a mother of a 22 veteran a couple months ago with Operation Song, I believe. I'm going to get the name wrong. There's like I said, there's so many of them out there that we try to work with, and we are not biased to anyone. Like we want to work with to every veteran organization. We know that we'll find a way to find that synergy where we can work together. Just like with Ryan out in Arizona, I've sang the national anthem at PIR. We've done a bunch of different things out there with, I don't know if you know, an organization out there called VA Rep. It's a military organization that helps veterans get housing. And they're giving houses away. Like they're real estate agents. They're just giving houses to veterans. And one of my buddies, Derek Kindershot, who used to be the escort of the Global Wall of Remembrance, which Brian Romans has with the Roman Warrior Foundation now. He got one of those homes and still has it today, man. So it's some great organizations out in Arizona that, after this, I'm going to get your information, Ryan, and we'll link up where if you guys do anything, we can send, we've got entertainment for everything. So we've got veteran artists, at the end of the day, if you need it filmed, if you need it photographed, if you need social media work, if you need an artist for your event, we've got that covered. And if you need veteran spirits, Four Branches, Heroes Vodka. I mean, that's the kind of platform we're trying to put together, is that when you call Label 22 and say, "Hey, I need a plumber," I got a guy.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah. And, just to caveat off what you're saying, I think, I think a lot of veterans might watch this, especially if they're, we've all been there. We felt alone. We felt sad. We felt, whatever. And we hear, oftentimes we hear stories and those stories seem untouchable, right? Like, so you guys have a lot of good stories, a lot of beautiful stories about everybody that you've helped. And a veteran might be sitting at home and saying, well, they've done all these cool things, but what can I do? And I think this circles back to checking your six, right? And just having a conversation with people and asking them, who do you know that I should know, right? Number one. Number two, because you have to have, even in some of the worst moments, I think that, having a simple question like, who do you know that I should know, right? And, you'd be amazed, when you start asking questions to other veterans about how much they're willing to share with you, about how much they're willing to say, oh, you got to know my buddy, Steven out in Nashville. You got to connect with my, my dude over here in, Arizona or whatever, like we're very willing to help. And I think that, just having a conversation with somebody else and asking them, who do you know that I should know? I've built my life around that. And I've met thousands of people just because I've asked that simple question. And I've connected with, all these free resources and different things that we may not even know are even out there and available to us. Right. And, I've come across quite a few people that have needed my help. And so they've reached out to me, but it all really stems from a question like that. Right. So
that's the crazy part, in that we have so many veterans that want to help. We have so many people that want to help. I mean, it's not just veterans. There are people out there, Gold Star families. That's another level of people who have a passion because they've lost someone. But the confusion comes where we've muddied the waters. There's so many. And our veterans are doing this, looking which way, who can help me? How can I get the help? What's the help? And there is so much nasty stuff. Like, I want to put gutters on my house, and I type in gutters on my house, and I got to filter through garbage and garbage and garbage and garbage and bots and crap. And this is the same stuff that our veterans. So 86,000 organizations that say you're helping veterans, which is hogwash. I'm sorry. And I get angry about it. Back on my platform, we have to cut that fluff as well. And I know that goes against the words Stephen was talking about, is, quit pooping on each other. Well,
no. I mean, but the thing is, dude, and the thing is not if it's deserved, it's deserved. And, there's a lot of people that are kind of flying under the flag that aren't a part of the community, that are in it to line their pockets. And, this is an easy target for scams. I mean, we've seen it happen so many times, dude. I've watched nonprofits be taken away from veterans by other people that just got enough people on the board to vote the dude off who started the organization. And now the whole organization's ran by non-veterans. Like there's, and again, the veteran spouses who weren't even with the veteran when they got injured, that kind of weaseled their way in. Now they're running the whole organization. So if it's needed, and that's what I'm thinking about us leaking the shields. When we get into a room and we get together on a platform like this and speak, it's easy to find out real quick who's BSing and not. And it's real when you get those organizations together that are vetted, that we can say, hey, listen, I know this guy. I know Ryan personally. I've been on a talk show with him. We've talked afterwards. I trust passing this information on to him and you guys linking up. That's the organization I'm talking about that we need to not shit on. If we have an organization of vetted individuals who are striving to work hard together and we've linked our shields, well, then we can support each other and we can figure out how, even if there is a problem with, say, Mark and Ryan, we're going to get into a room and solve that problem instead of bringing the whole world in on it and making the community look like we're the Real Housewives of Baghdad.
Yeah. And that's honestly why I, started becoming the vet deal maker, was just because there was so many things that were targeting veterans, that were taking advantage of veterans, that weren't good for veterans. And with my knowledge and things like that, I thought, I can vet some of these things and really find out if they're legit. Right. And if not, how do I bring a veteran presence to the company that I'm representing? And so that's, so just to your point, right? Like, if there's bullshit, we should call the bullshit out for
Right.
sure, 100%.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, like your nonprofit example, people start waving the veteran flag and think that's going to buy them, money in their pockets, which unfortunately it does, right? But how do we get away from, like you guys said, right? Those 86,000 people or VSOs that say they're legit. I bet it's legitimately probably a half or third of that are actually doing things on a daily basis that enhance the life of a veteran or their family, right? That's my opinion. But
No, it's not wrong. The piece that is frustrating is when a veteran or first responder who has been trained to take care of themselves for so long has the gumption, the urge, or the drive to actually call for the help. And they have to filter through emails. They have to filter through phone calls. They have to filter through the crap, the bots. Then that's why, hey, you know what the next option is? Click. That's the next option, folks. That's the reality. And I hate being so damn graphic about it, but you are effing with people's lives.
Yeah,
100%. And that's what people don't realize. They see the end result of these veterans sitting in VA parking lots when they take their lives. They don't see what got them there, how many times they were turned down, how many BS, dude, I remember early days of VA when we would have to go in and they would do group therapy where you would sit and you would talk about, and like one dude, and you're sitting here like, man, why am I having, like, my experience is different from this dude's. And if he's having problems with this, I don't want to lay more on him.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And so, it's like at some points we realize that they're throwing darts against the wall and hoping that they stick. And there is no cure. Again, when I come back to, there's no one coming to save us but us. And if we want to find a cure for something, then we've got to, as a community, go find it. We've got to stop relying on the government to save us, man, because they're not going to.
Yeah.
In fact, the reason civilians still don't know what 22 means is because we're doing something to ourselves that combat and the federal government can't do, which is make that number that they've got to pay go down.
Yeah.
They didn't expect so many of us to survive in Iraq and Afghanistan. The way I was injured, the way Sal was injured, there's a lot of guys out here that if we had been injured that way, and even Korea, we wouldn't have came home. They would have given them a check and that would have been it. They wouldn't have to pay us for the rest of our lives. And so, if and then the reason they don't tell you that suicide negates a lot of your VA payments is because they don't want you to know that, because then you're not going to show that you committed suicide. You're going to go run your car off a cliff or something like that. And then they're going to have to pay your spouse. So we've got to stop thinking that they're saving us because they give us a check. No, that's a contract that we signed, and they were willing to take our life. We were willing to give our life, and it's not our fault that it wasn't claimed. But if we came home different than the way that we went back over, that's a contract they signed too. They knew that there was a possibility that we were going to come home, and we were going to come home different. I mean, daggone, man, Spartans had post-traumatic stress, and they were raised in this. And now we see that the Spartans had post-traumatic stress, then this whole, like, you're a pussy because you admit you have PTSD thing's got to go out the window. I mean, that's wild. Like, we're not built for this. No one's built for this stuff, to do the things that we have to do continuously over and over and over, and then come home and think you're not gonna have a problem with it. Man, to me, that's the ones. If you came home after some of the stuff that we had to do in the invasion in Afghanistan, and you came home and you didn't have a problem, I think maybe you're the one that needs to go see the pills. Yeah, I don't need pills. I need to figure out, what's this new normal that we've got to live with, and sometimes maybe we need to take medication to get us there. But I don't think that there's a medication that we have to live on for our entire life.
Yeah,
and that's what they just keep doing, man. Is just throwing pills at us, which is that proverbial dart against the wall. It's just their pills. Here, have some more pills.
Well, and again, I feel, and it's part of the mission of the People's Patriot Project, is to be there, be present.
Right.
That's a gigantic, from the wee toddlers of life. How do you get them to grow? You have an adult that they trust, that they feed and nurture. And again, people realize that these young men and women that went into service went in at the end. I'm talking to the wrong effing crowd right now, but they were 17, 18, and 19-year-olds that their cerebral cortex has not fully developed. Yeah. And you threw them into a situation to play war, which wasn't play. And now all of a sudden they have to grow up in that space, learn, and all the things that your snot-nosed little brats that didn't have to sign the line, the other 97% of our country that doesn't do crap, and they get to go line their pockets. But now we have to restructure, reteach, regrow our men and women that went into that space and saw the ick, and that's the reality.
And that's the thing, is that the thing they don't tell you is that post-traumatic stress grows with you as you age. I mean, 20-year-old me is not 46-year-old me. Mission completion comes before all else means something completely different to me at 46. It means I can say, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, if it means that half of my dudes are going to die, we're not going to do that. We'll just do something else. But at 20, when somebody tells you to do something, hey man, we're gonna charge a machine gun bunker. We're gonna, whatever. These are things that you wouldn't do at 46. You go, no, man, that's stupid. What are you talking about?
We're not doing that.
Young, dumb, and full of rum, man. That's I changed that last one, but young, dumb, and full of rum, and it's like every order that comes down is like a challenge. Oh, I can't do that. Well, watch this.
All right.
Yeah, and the greatest days of our lives, nonetheless. I mean, I wouldn't give back any one of those days. Granted, I'm not a combat veteran. I was ETSing right when we were going into the funk, and it breaks my heart, and I have that separation.
But I was going to say, dude, that's that right there. I talk with Chris Turner. Chris is not a combat veteran, and to be on a label with a bunch of combat veterans, sometimes that's perplexing for him too. And I'll talk to him about it and be like, listen, man, for me, that's almost like survivor's guilt to the times 10, because it's like you practiced for this football game that you never got to play, and then you had to watch your brothers go play it, and some of them not come back while your hands were tied. Like, dude, there's no. The biggest thing I can tell veterans, man, is that that's another thing. There's no hierarchy. Somewhere we got into where it was like combat veterans and veterans.
Yeah, no.
Like, no, man, we're all veterans. You were part of 1% that was willing to give our lives. That's it. That's where that stops. Whether you went and had to do it, whether you didn't do it or not, the conversation stops when you sign the contract. That's it. We're veterans.
Yeah, and everybody plays their part too, right? Like, everybody, you were willing to, right? You raised your hand and you said, hey, if you send me, I'll go. You know what I mean? And like you said, there's only 3% that are willing to do that, right? And
that's why I needed to figure out a way to continue the mission. And again, I became a firefighter. I worked in law enforcement. All that was great and grand. Saw a bunch more poo as being an EMS provider. And now all of a sudden, I'm like, I need more. I want to be more impactful. I want to do more stuff. I want to get it done. And this is where we're at now.
So I do want to point out one thing that I have come across this, I would say, nearly 80% of the time that I work with other veterans that are struggling. And if you notice, you two, myself, people on this podcast, and you mentioned it earlier, we have a destination, right? I believe that when a man loses his purpose, that's when stuff starts to spiral, right? And I think Stephen, I think everybody here, we may not have it all figured out. We may not have exactly what the destination is going to look like, but we have a purpose. We have something that we're striving for. And I can't speak for women because I don't know women's biology or mental makeup or anything like that. But I've worked with a lot of men over the last 20 years just doing what I do. And a lot of them are veterans and combat veterans, and they lose their purpose, right? They take off the uniform and they had somebody giving them purpose every single day. And then we transition into the civilian world, and we see a lot of guys struggling, or a lot of women women and men struggling. And I think it's just because they don't know what their purpose is. They don't, outside of the military, what's their, what defines them, what makes them up, what gets them out of bed every day. And you two, you three, obviously are here. All four of us are here because we have a specific purpose, that we want to serve veterans and we want to enhance their lives. And I would encourage every veteran that's watching this to, reach out and ask somebody, how do I find a purpose? Because I can guarantee you that there's another brother or sister that did it, that overcame it, and coming to things like this at 6:00 on a Sunday night. This is helping you find your purpose. It's all adding to it, right? And when you can find your purpose, I think you have, outside of a uniform, outside of what Uncle Sam told you to do, I think if you can find that purpose, you're going to be a very successful person in the civilian world, right? Yeah. So,
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
And I would normally say 150, but that's BS. There is no such thing.
Yeah.
But,
because I mean, one day you're the closest thing to a superhero that you're ever going to be, and that anyone's ever. And the next day you're a great Walmart greeter, and that's where a lot of that, what I said, that inner hate that we've got. A lot of people see and think, well, because they're doing that and I'm not doing it, I got a crap on it.
Yeah.
But like I tell people all the time, come by the studio, come by. Like I'm nothing special. Like I honestly, I am the same grunt as any other 0311 that served in the Marine Corps. There's nothing special about me. We jokingly used to call this tricky therapy, because if I can get you to start writing songs, I can show you this is not hard. This is why I do it. Yeah. But at the same time, we can show you that inside the entertainment, community, there's a place for everyone. And if you want to learn to be a producer, if you want to learn to be PR, whatever you want to do, we're going to find someone in Nashville that's at the top of the game. It's going to teach you how to do that. And I think that we could see that through a lot of different organizations. If we also, started teaching veterans to do what we do, then we can start giving them a purpose to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to be in the position that I'm in at Label 22 for much longer. We've got veterans coming up to do that. So that I can go focus on sponsorships and finding the next stars that we've got to come into Label 22. I don't want to know who's got the keys and who's drinking in the office after hours. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go look for entertainment. So that's why we got to bring these veterans in and bring them up underneath us and give them that purpose and say, hey, listen, I'm going to teach you to do what I do, and I'm going to hand you the reins and let you run with it. Yeah. And so I think that it's platforms like this that get us together, that start the conversations that help a lot of people past just the ones watching. I think these connections and these conversations are going to go on well past tonight.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
We are we're not going to get to the next channel or the next conversation. We're at our spot, man. And again, Andrea does such an amazing job of cutting this, and these are the things that had to be said. And we've always said that we're not going to cut a show off when the content is relevant, real. And we're not doing that tonight either, but we're not going to get to the, hey, what's the next big thing for you? Because I think the next big thing is very evident in the words that are coming out, is we're going to make a difference, period.
Yeah.
Okay. And Stephen was going to play a live song for us, and we're going to kind of brush that off. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, no worries, man. We'll have other times.
Absolutely. Well, and I just, like you said, I think this is going to continue. I mean, we've had you on the show before. It was not that I'm going to rank it, but I don't remember it being as dynamic as tonight.
Mm.
And this is like just absolute real. And there's some special gifts on your phone when you get in there. I don't know if they're that special, but you said that you're not that special. I'm going to say BS. You are very special. You're important, to me. And the drive is important. The passion is important. All this stuff. We're going to go to final thoughts now. It's our last part of our show. And we let Frank start it. And I always tried to not to get too wordy for me because I want to introduce the segment. Frank, final thoughts, brother.
Okay. I'll start off where we kind of left off. And purpose is probably the most important thing to keep in mind. And with that purpose comes belief in God and faith. But just to make it short, I retired as lieutenant colonel. I did a lot of civilian jobs, corporate level leadership, and things like that. I lost my second to last job. I worked for a guy I knew, and he fired me one day out of the blue. So I had to find a job. So my last job I worked, I was a note taker in meetings. And I did that for almost 3 years. And if you want to find some way to just suck the purpose right out of you, that was it. And I stood on the precipice of the pit, and I was right there.
Mm.
And thank God that my faith was stronger, and I didn't know what to do. And I was guided to write my first book about a program that I developed that nobody had said anything about. And it saved my life, literally. It did. And that was my first book. And I continue to write because that's my purpose now, to inform the 99% of people in our country what the military is, what we go through, and what we suffer through. And thank God. And that's all I got.
Ryan, final thoughts, brother.
Yeah. So really, if I can leave with anybody with anything, it's really just, don't worry about, a really good friend of mine told me when my mom passed away, don't worry about the next month. Don't worry about the next week. Don't worry about the next day, even. Just worry about the next hour. And if you can find purpose in the next hour, then string it into another hour. But really just focus on finding purpose in whatever it is that you're doing currently, and reach out to somebody and ask them, who do you know that I should know, right? And really, you may not have like your whole life's purpose figured out, but I certainly would recommend, having a destination in your GPS for sure. And so if anybody needs any help with that, you're welcome to reach out to me at any time. I'm happy to do it.
Thank you for coming on tonight, Ryan.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. Cochran.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm just honored to know all you guys, man. And thank you for having me. It's been a true blessing to just get to know you. And I continue to think that, like I said, these conversations will go on well past this. And I thank all of you for what you're doing in your own areas to help our fellow veterans and brothers and sisters, man. Because again, no one's coming to save us, guys. Like no one's coming to save us physically. But the thing I want to leave on, and I can't say this enough, and I seem like I'm apologizing to people sometimes. Like, I'm not trying to preach to you, but you know what? If that's what it is, that's what it is. But a good friend of the music community, and we played Pieces tonight. That song was actually produced by the band Three Doors Down, Chris Henderson, Chet Roberts, and Bradley, who we just lost, Bradley Arnold. And Bradley was a great Christian man. He would even stop whole concerts at Three Doors Down to talk about his faith. And I know there's veterans out there that right now are in the same place that a lot of us have been. And, if you've tried everything, what's it going to hurt before you make a decision that's going to impact more people than just yourself? Yeah. I mean, we have all been around enough suicide to know what it looks like in the aftermath for the people that are left. And it's horrible. I mean, we've all got friends that's done it, and the way that it's left us. And so if you've tried everything else, why not get on your knees?
Yeah. And
give your Lord and Savior a chance?
Yeah.
Because I've been there. And I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we can all start these organizations. We can do everything that we want to help, but at some point they've got to believe what we believe. Yep. And they've got to give God a chance. Because if we're going to give alcohol a chance, and we're going to give the VA and the pills that they give us a chance, but we're not going to give our Creator a chance. And every one of us that's been to combat, man, I don't remember any atheist in combat. I really don't. I mean, I got buddies that, they'll joke and make jokes now, but I remember when we lost brothers, everybody's standing around and praying. And so I don't know why we've gotten back home and got away from that, because now we're home. So if you're there and you hear me and you hear my voice, I mean, you've tried everything else. Try God. Try Jesus. And that's the only reason I'm sitting here. I can promise you that.
I'm not going to take up any time. It's been said. What I need to do is close out, unfortunately, the show and again continue to build this. So the simple things I do need to let you know that Rich Creamer of First Responder Reset Podcast and Malachi Raphael Gaskin are our guests for next week. Tomorrow we come back at 16:30 to share the mission of the People's Patriot Project and all the pieces that are coming on. Michael Allen just came in. I don't know if you saw that. Good to see you, brother. Amazing
Amen.
Conversation tonight. Have a purpose. It's a heart condition. Keep it positive. Link the shields.
Yeah.
Be the beacon. And I'm not trying to be cliche here, but these are the things. We stand together. If you want a little inspiration, this guy's not a veteran, but go check out Wally Ortiz. He's a truck driver. He's a influencer. There's a prayer that he puts out there that I listen to daily. Just gives me and touches all the spaces that I need. And I'm looking for that. And maybe one of you guys have that spiritual leader in the military world. That's a piece that we don't find or stumble on that often. And so, I mean, if you know that guy, I want to hear that guy, or gal. But we appreciate the amazing people that were on the panel tonight. I would love to make sure this has got to happen more often, and these voices need to be heard. Miss Kim Gwinner, good to see you again tonight. It was a beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart. We are with you. Jeremy Daniels, we're with you too, brother. There's some people that they've been hurting for a long time, folks. I can ramble, but we're going to shut her down. Check your 6. It literally is your job. Thank you, WeP3 team, for all the amazing things you do and allow me to be part of this. And we'll see you when the smoke clears. Patriot Pride.